Hey, DJ Mosky, let's get it. We the champions here in Los Angeles. We doing numbers. Bringing home victory straight out the huddle. I met the plug, introduced to my brother. My squad superior, ain't none above us. We doing numbers. Gang in the building, we taking it over. Call it promoters. I just put up in this thing with my soldiers. I blew it and I'm still.
From beautiful South Florida, there's a look at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. Taken at the goal line. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25. The
Dolphins take over first and 10 at their own 24-yard line.
Ready.
Throwing to start here is Tua. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one, forced the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. From the 24, they'll go again on 2nd and 10. First carry for Raheem Mostert. And he's able to plow forward up to about the 29, just shy of the 30. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. Well, this defense for the Bills, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
No matter what coverage was called, they were right in the hip pockets of the receivers all game long, step for step, running their routes with them. Turned out they were right there every time the ball was in the air, and they came away with 5 interceptions in that one.
Getting this out to the flat, Mostert. And he slips up past the 45 before mid. On play action, here's Tua. He's going to float this one deep right side. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. So now then the penalty's got him set up with a 1st and goal. Mostert going to be stopped before he can get moving forward as he'll lose a couple back to the 5-yard line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he'll get this on the screen to Mostert. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They get only a yard there. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. Tua sets up to pass it. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
The kick by Sanders is good. And the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. So the interception setting up a terrific field position, but 3 points, the end result.
Yeah, we can make this one pretty simple, partner. You always want to end drives with points, but that's one that you're going to look back on and probably say, we should have done better there.
And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line. Allen and the Bills now with a 1st and 10 at their own 23. Now the 3rd running back taken in April's draft. This is James Cook. And he'll get this just across the 25-yard line.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
Three yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Here's Cook again. And he powers his way up past the 30. He'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. On play action, Allen. And he completes it to the tight end, Knox. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
Normally on 3rd down and short yardage, you're thinking to throw to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the 1st down and then some.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 45-yard line. Here's Allen to throw it. On the move to his left. Going right back to Knox, and again a completion. And he'll be brought down inside the 40-yard line.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
On 2nd down, Cook. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
It's nice every now and then in this game not to see people overthink it. Just hand it to the old reliable guy. Let him pick up the 1st down.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. And they're going to go with the jet sweep. This is Diggs with it. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
Well, I sure wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this as this game goes on, because we know they like to use their wideouts either on quick throws or on jet sweeps like what we just saw there. And to say that that one worked well, partner, that's stating the obvious.
2nd down and 4. They'll try the middle with Cook. And he's able to get it down to the 25-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
Well, that was a unit that understood exactly where the first down marker was, handed it to their guy who could run it, created some space, and he got there.
Allen now on first down. He's got it complete to Diggs, right side. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Now the Dolphins are going to halt the action here. It's a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. Cook will take this over the line. Touchdown, Buffalo. First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
So with the missed PAT in his rearview mirror, he goes back out to kick this one off. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They've shown precious little here offensively thus far as they try again with a first down now. Meanwhile, Tua's throw here going to be caught by Wilson. And he'll have this past the 30 prior to going out of bounds. 11 yards for number 11.
A legacy player in the NFL, Cedric Wilson, 602 yards last season. Nearly beat his father's best season when he played in the league. The Miami Dolphins, they're betting that Wilson can surpass not only his dad, but become a big-time player in their revamped passing game. Nice catch there for a first down.
Tua hit, and the ball is out. And the Bills have recovered. A little careless with the football. And he also had a fumble loss last week, didn't he?
He certainly did, and when I'm watching him play, the one thing that comes to mind is always remember, traffic, turbulence, people around you, 2 hands. Get 2 hands on the ball. Grip it tight. I know it looks cool to have it in one hand, but put it away, tuck it away, because you've got to take care of the ball.
Here's Allen following the fumble recovery. Flushed out right. And he'll just get rid of it.
Well, they certainly knew their challenge as this series began, and they got to stop on play number 1. Goal now, get 2 more stops and limit the damage to a field goal.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Up the middle, it's Cook. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. 2 yards the loss, and now 3rd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Here's Allen. It's Knox, the tight end, making the catch. And that's not nearly going to be enough. Stopped at the 22, and he needed plenty more. And it bangs off the right upright, no good. And that will keep this a 3-point game. And no mistaking that sound. It reverberated through the whole stadium.
And it's the sound, Brandon, no kicker wants to hear. It looked like he had it on target the whole way, but the upright said,
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
Ready.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Von Miller in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Sixth ring is our score after 1. It's the NFL on EA Sports. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Well, their first 2 drives only yielded 3 points. They might be thinking it's time to make something happen. Push the ball downfield and try and gain some points that way. Unfortunately, incomplete.
And here's Morstead now as he sends this one away. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. Call that a 46-yard punt with a net of 40 on the 6-yard return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive. And they have to feel like they missed on an opportunity for points last time when they couldn't connect on that short field goal try.
And no doubt about it, because they were counting on those points. In today's NFL, let's face it, that's really a chip shot, right?
That's anything inside 40.
Yeah, they're counting on that going through the post. But we've seen it happen to teams before. Some of the best kickers in the world can miss kicks like that. Can they come back now and redeem themselves?
Cook up the gut.
And a pretty good burst right there as he'll take this down to the 33.
11 yards and a Buffalo first down.
When he runs, he seems to do a nice job of knowing when to be patient and find the hole, and then when the hole is there, he goes quickly.
You're exactly right. He knows how to just take off, but you know what else? Brings a little thump with him, doesn't he?
He does.
He packs the boom at the end of the run and finishes it going forward. That's what you want to see out of your backs.
Here's Hines.
And he'll get this just inside the 30-yard line.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
And they'll work from the 29 on 2nd and 6.
So the shotgun snap to Allen. And that's incomplete.
Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Well, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on third down.
The pass underneath. Here's Hines with it.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins 16. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost conceding the 3 points. They want to put...
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Give the sack to Jerome Baker.
So that time, Charles, a quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's when we turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted.
Picked off, Byron Jones.
And the Dolphins are going to get the football here at their own 23. Well, really not much secret there. 3rd and long, Charles, and he was looking to throw the football. And I would imagine as a defender, you're kind of salivating in that spot, right?
You certainly are, because 3rd and long situations, they tip the scale towards the defense every single time. Now you're actually able to dictate and understand what the offense is trying to do. You know where the first down marker is. You set your defense that way, and maybe you can be a little more aggressive in certain situations because of that. You start focusing on your coverage assignment, and when the ball's released, you break on it and make a play, as we just saw there.
An excellent way to start the drive there, 18 yards.
Oh, that was a pretty route right there, because it's all about finding a window on a route like that. He lined up on his left, ran the deep in route over the middle, and the ball was right where it needed to be. Really good trust between quarterback and receiver. Really good completion.
Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. That one goes for 24 yards.
Let's make this one simple. What a catch, especially the finishing part of getting his feet in bounds, toe tapping, and, of course, foot dragging.
Little tapestry, if you will. And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. It'll be a loss of 7 on the sack, and it brings up 2nd.
He continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, they've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Well, everybody was up there ready at the line of scrimmage, CD, but no snap, and the delay of game ensued.
Yeah, and I'm sure their head coach is asking the exact same thing. What's going on out there? Almost like they thought they had more time than actually was on the clock.
Ready. You, yellow. You're blue.
Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Under pressure, and they got it to him again. Ed Oliver. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this first half. Charles, not to point fingers, but how much of this goes on the shoulders of the offensive line? I mean, look at the 6 sacks last week. That's the 4th in this game.
Definitely the bulk of it does go on the offensive line. That's what they're tasked with doing, keeping their quarterback upright and clean in the pocket. But I think they have to look at, okay, are we bringing in extra people? Is the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick enough? There are a few other factors that they have to look at to try and help out, but you're exactly right. It starts with the O-line.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete.
Thus far, they have been able to move the line of scrimmage very well in the running game. Almost felt like they said in the huddle, can you guys pass protect? Let's take a big shot downfield. Didn't get it on that one, but they may come back to it again.
This is fielded at the 7. It's a 45-yard punt and 8 on the return. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
Play action. Now it's Allen. Toward the sideline. He will have the first down. Good catch. He was able to keep the feet in bounds. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
This is Hines. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
From the lineman to the guy running with it, that was a well-executed first down by the offense. With 2 shots left to get the first, you can get a little aggressive here on 2nd down if you want and try for some bigger yardage.
Two minutes remaining in this first half of football. They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. From the gun, it's Allen. That's complete to Hines out of the backfield. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
But now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
On 2nd and 15 now. Allen. And he wisely will throw that one away.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. If you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
Again, they'll throw with Allen. He's going to go for a big play downfield. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
There is something to a game plan with trying to keep a defense honest. With a guy with that type of speed, you do so. Send him deep, try and throw some air under it, and hope you connect downfield. On that play, they were unsuccessful.
Throwing on first down is Allen. This to Hines on the drop-off. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. From the 45 on second down. Allen working the middle here. That's complete to Knox, the tight end. Now the Bills are going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now Allen. And his pass incomplete.
Not sure what happened there, but he just didn't get the right read on the coverage that time. Pass wasn't where it needed to be, and that'll send them back to the drawing board.
So line of scrimmage still at 39 on 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Allen. Setting up the screen for Cook. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. Now the Bills will use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on 3rd down. Now Allen again. And Diggs has it. And he is going to have a Bills first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Allen to Diggs there for a Buffalo first.
As an unbiased observer, I think it would have been interesting to see what they would have done if they hadn't gotten the first down there. But since they did, I guess the point is moot.
And they're right there in that middle ground, field goal range, punt, go for it. But as you said, they picked it up. They will find Diggs in the end zone. Touchdown, Buffalo. Stephon Diggs as the first half is winding down. And the Bills will extend their lead here just before halftime. And he clanks it off the right upright. And it's no good. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. A short kick taken at the 18. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with only 9 seconds remaining, with not much time, we'll see how they play this. Tua now on first down. And going deep for Hill. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Micah Hyde. And, Charles, that's now 4 interceptions over his last 3 halves of football, because, remember, he threw 3 picks last week.
Starting to wonder if maybe defenses and those coordinators have identified something on tape with what he's doing. Maybe a movement, maybe the way he's moving his shoulders. Who knows what it could be? He could have a few tells out there that they're keying in on and allowing defenses to get to the football a little bit faster. People steal signals. Maybe sometimes they can figure out what the quarterback's doing just by his movements.
And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Allen now looks to throw. Finding Knox there, complete. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a first down.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. Getting the ball is Cook, right, left. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain, considering the blitz that they just had against them.
Second down at 7.
On play action, Allen. Out to the left, he's got his tight end Knox. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. He was out there waving his arms, and when you get a quarterback out of the pocket looking for any help, I guess waving the arms is helpful.
It certainly is, because you got to get his attention, because now you're in scramble drill. So everyone's adjusting their routes, finding open space, and he found the right spot for the completion.
And he's got the first down yardage there as he takes it just across midfield. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
They run again on first down. Cook
Down to about the 45.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
Allen off the play fake. And that one going to be off target and incomplete.
Well, the connection they've had has been excellent today, but not on that snap. I think he was asking just a little too much as he extended that play, hoping for one more completion with it.
So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. To throw, it's Allen. This is caught inside the 15. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Stephon Diggs. His 3rd touchdown now on the year as his guys are able to extend their lead. So Allen breaks the huddle, and his guys will go for 2 here. Allen will try to throw for it. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the one. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the two-point attempt is turned aside.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fields this way up at the 17. And they will wrangle it down a couple yards shy of the 30.
Now a stoppage here as we've got a Bill shaking up on the play. We'll get an update when we come back to Miami.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They make their second half debut here, and things are looking a little bit tougher now. You give up the points there, Charles, that touchdown drive on the other side. So now it's a two-score game here. Got to be careful.
They certainly do, and I'm just wondering at halftime if those guys just looked into each other's eyes and realized what they've got to get done and come out a little bit more charged up, because if they don't get some kind of points here, that next drive, that could make this a three-possession game.
So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
They run out of the shotgun with Mostert.
A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
Throwing is Tagovailoa on third down here. Got a man. It's Waddle, complete. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
That was a fun one to watch right there. A nice in-breaking route and plenty of room in the middle of the field. And he was able to get behind the linebackers and grab the completion for a really good pickup.
On 1st and 10, it's Mostert. And a lane slow and materializing there as he'll get maybe a yard up to the 45.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Now Tua. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. 15 yards there on the play as they try to chip away at this 15-point deficit.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
Still in search of their first touchdown of the game, but they're on the move. 1st and 10. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And oh, it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Jordan Poyer.
And the Bills are going to get the football here as the ball will come out to the 20. Well, field goals probably aren't going to cut it at this point. This was touchdown or bust, and unfortunately for them, it turned out to be bust.
Yeah, they're feeling like they've got to force the issue here. Maybe take some chances they wouldn't have earlier in the game. But give credit to this defense. They've really stood tall throughout, and they come up with the interception in the end zone.
The Bills come to the line to start their next drive.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivations.
He rifles one that's intercepted.
Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to take possession of the football. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, third quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I would agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
A run with Mostert up the middle.
And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
I don't think any of us were surprised that they decided to start this drive on the ground after the last 2 drives ended in interceptions.
Unfortunately, though, not a lot going on that first play.
Yeah, I think the anticipation was felt also by the defense.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Looking to pass. Tua.
Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the third time. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Bills will take over here at their own 14-yard line. Now, this defense, Charles, coming up with another interception. They have really done an excellent job of locking up these receivers.
Yeah, they're really on fire. They are actually doing what they talk about all the time, which is plastering to receivers when they're in their zones. They didn't give up a touchdown the first half. Haven't done so here in this half either. Blanketed the field going all the way back to the opening drive, and they come up with a pick right there.
59 yards rushing on 12 carries for him now.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
On play action, Allen. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Coming off of a Pro Bowl season 2020, many of us were stunned when Bradley Chubb had 0 sacks in 2021. That did come in only a 7-game season due to injuries. Cause for some concern, but he also had 19.5 sacks in his first 2 years as a full-time starter.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Allen.
Diggs crossing the field and bringing it in.
They find some open field here. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Well, you got to think, Charles, that one's on the quarterback, as everybody was up at the line of scrimmage. He just didn't call for the snap in time.
Yeah, I think he needs a little bit better awareness out there, because you got to know when the clock's in single digits and either snap it or get a timeout called if you have one.
The delay of game backs him up 5, 1st and 15. So they fake the handoff. Now Allen. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Buried behind the line by Christian Wilkins.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
That's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
That's caught by Gabriel Davis.
14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And here's a very low line drive, almost whiffed on it. Officially just 27 yards there on the punt. And it'll be Dolphin football. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. So that'll be no better than an incompletion, and it's 2nd down. 4th quarter, every drive's so critical, and you figure may only get one more shot after this, so a touchdown's imperative on this drive.
It is, but you also have to think to yourself in play calling, don't hold anything back. Don't save it for the 2nd touchdown. You got the first one for the 2nd one to even matter.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down.
Tua. That's caught. Waddle on the left side.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down.
Tua to his Alabama teammate Waddle. 1st down, Miami.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they look.
Yeah, the pressure gets there, and Tua's going to be taken down. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. Well, collectively as a defense, Charles, I think if you get 4 sacks a game, you're feeling really good. Now they have 6 as a unit.
And that type of a number, it's just staggering because there's so many ways to try and counteract it. But in this case, they've got no answers for this unrelenting pressure coming at their quarterback.
Out of the gun on 3rd down, here's Tua. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Teron Johnson able to pick it. And the Bills are in great shape here as they take over at their 46-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offense coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now and get himself calm.
Well, the drive starts with a completion left side. He'll be taken down at the 48 for a pickup of 2 yards.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
That one, a 1st down pickup of 8. And I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
And that's a good job there by the corner. We do talk about this a lot, that a lot of corners see their job as simply covering receivers. Tackling isn't everyone's thing. But in this case, he came up quickly and made a nice, sure tackle.
From the 41, Allen. And all the way home for a Bills touchdown. Stephon Diggs. His 3rd touchdown of the game and 5th on the year. And the Bills are closing in on a 3rd straight win as they widen the gap further here in the 4th quarter. The point after through the raindrops, up and good. And the lead opens up now to 22 points.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Taken in at the 3. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down. Inside the 20.
The Dolphins take over 1st and 10 at their own 18-yard line.
Let's go.
1st down Miami as they get set to start the drive.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Micah Hyde.
And the Bills will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
A lot of work to get away and outside of the pocket, but no actual yardage there on the catch. It's second down. Handoff comes to Cook. And he's across midfield and into Miami territory.
67 yards rushing for him now to this point.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And this is caught inside the 5. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Even with the big lead here in the 4th, it still bombs away, and frankly, it's working. Why should they stop? Go ahead and keep firing away and gaining those yards.
Incomplete, right side to Cook. And he'll get blown up behind the line of scrimmage, back at the 6. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal. Now a give running right. It's Cook. Trying to run inside, but nothing there. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. Defensively, I think they can smell a stop. Ball right around the 5 here, brings up 3rd.
And I think what they've done is they put doubt in the minds of the offensive guys. What do we do? Because now you don't have a go-to play. Either side they pick, throwing it, running it, it won't be easy.
Big play coming here. It's 3rd and goal.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Bills football here as we get you reset. They've got it 3rd and goal here as they try to finish off their victory. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. No gain on the play that time, so a big stop, and it's going to leave him with a 4th and goal.
Now, that's a mountain of a man that just made that stop, isn't it? But he's more than that. This guy's nimble and quick. More than a space eater. He just made a great play there.
The kick by Bass is good, and the Bills will add on to their lead.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
This taken in at the goal line. And he won't get this to the 20-yard line as he's down at the 19.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
Ready.
The Dolphins at the line, ready for their next drive. Well, CD, it's all window dressing at this point. I mean, the best they can do is in the game with a nice drive. And now here is another interception. picked up by Tremaine Edmonds, the linebacker. And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play.
Let's go, man.
And Allen is actually going to throw it here. And this will be caught. And the carnage continues. It's another touchdown. Now it's looking incredibly likely to be a 3-0 start to this season. That is obviously excellent. 2-0 is one thing. 3-0, you really have some momentum.
And now they're serving notice to the rest of the league that they're a pretty darn good football team. Confident, aggressive, attacking at all times. This looks like a team that you're going to have to deal with. And guess what? Behind closed doors, they're trying to figure out ways to get better.
After the touchdown, Bass to kick it away. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he'll get it up across the 20 to the 21-yard line.
The Dolphins take over first and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
Ready, set.
First down Miami as they get set to start the drive. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
Be honest.
don't forget today. Don't forget what has happened out here.
Use that as ammo
Exactly.
going forward.
Take a great look at that scoreboard. Realize how poorly everything went for us today. Coaching, playing, the whole deal. And never forget it, because
You're not going to want that feeling again.
no, you don't want that feeling again. And who knows? You may meet up with this team again.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Tua. And the Bills are going to get him as he goes down.
Well, this is getting ridiculous. 8 sacks now. That time multiple guys get to it.
But one thing I do know, these guys on defense, they don't want this game to end. They're winning by multiple touchdowns. They've shut down the opposing quarterback in a big way, and they're still picking up sacks as we approach the end of this one.
On 3rd and long, it's Tagovailoa. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
Here we go. Here we go.
4th down, 4th quarter. Here's Tua. This will be caught. It's Waddle. And he will have a Dolphins first down as they manage to convert. And that'll keep the drive alive.
No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th.
Ready.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10.
Flight blue.
Tua going to throw.
Right back to Jalen Waddle for another catch.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. Another first down as he went right back to the same well, this time for 17 yards. Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. The 20.
And the Bills are going to take possession of the football. But with this advantage, this defense knew that passes were coming, and they stayed in position, Charles, and picked one off here in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, what a way to cap things off, huh? Because I think this is part of the game within the game. They see the scoreboard, they see what they can accomplish, and they went for it.
The Bills on their way to victory now as they take the knee.
This was a really nice display, Charles, of complimentary football, especially how much they were humming in the second half to pull away and get the victory. Really a complete performance.
And so much fun when you're able to have everyone contribute, both sides of the ball. You go back in the locker room and you just savor it, right? Because that's what football's all about. A true team game, and they got it done in this one.
So for the Bills, it's an ideal start as they move to 3-0 now on the young season. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Baltimore to take on the Ravens. Meanwhile, for Miami, they'll fall to 1-2. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals.